It's showtime, Jay.
Well, man, you know what that means.
I believe that means it's time to get this thing rocking and rolling.
Well, hit the music, big fella, and let's go.
Hello and welcome to The Game Plan. Our show is brought to you by Bringing the Heat Media and 4D Leaders. This show is dedicated to using sports to create positive change. So be ready to get inspired, uplifted, and empowered through thought-provoking conversations specific to the world of youth sports with some of the top minds in the game. I'm your co-host, Trevor Rosenthal, MLB All-Star and former single-season save record holder for the St. Louis Cardinals, with Jason Holzer, co-founder of 4D Leaders and best-selling author. Jason, hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
How's it going, man? I want to shout out our sponsor real quick, Rawlings. Rawlings has a new bat out called the BB Core Icon, and they have a new bat called the Clout AI. So that's the one that Ethan Holiday used last August, by the way, in his Perfect Game tournament. So check those out, Rawlings.com, or head to Dick's Sporting Goods Academy Sports and get your new bat before the season gets started. So, look at that. Check out that bat. Rex has got his own Rawlings bat. He's our guest today, by the way, Rex Hudler. Not to spoil the guest early, but whenever you have a clout bat like that, holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, is that my introduction?
I mean, it can be, absolutely. We're just going to go with it, yes. Hey, Trev, we got Rex Hudler on the show, by the way. FYI.
What? Are you serious, Jason? We have the Rex Hudler, legend. Kansas City baseball, Major League Baseball legend, man. Thanks, Rex, for joining us today.
Not just Kansas City, but like MLB The Show video game. He ate a bug in St. Louis, an earthworm whenever he was as a player. I mean, this guy does it all, not just playing.
Hey, we're lucky to have him. He's got some great knowledge and wisdom and baseball experience to share with us today. So let's dive into it.
Rex, how you doing today, man?
What a question. Are you kidding? Man, I've been looking forward to this day all week for sure. Trevor and Jason, happy to be with you. I appreciate you letting me fill up some time. Man, and I love being in my little baseball room. It's a mini baseball museum. And I used Rawlings. I love the bat. I use it. And every team I played for 7, I would always get the team to sign it. So this is a 1989 Montreal Expos team that I played on.
Oh.
Yeah, so, it's nice. It's a thin handle. Fred Lynn, the great Freddie Lynn, outside of Ichiro, the only guy to ever win a Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. He was my teammate in Baltimore. And, you check out your teammate's bats, and I felt his bat. I go, wow, it looks good. And Freddie, what do you think? He goes, yeah, Hud, get you some. And I'm going to give you a tip. Fred Lynn, great baseball player. I loved him, too. Very classy major leaguer. He passed the game on to me. He spent time with me. That's what I love about old veteran guys when I first broke in. So see the end, how it's cupped. It's cupped, and Fred goes, hey, Hud, why don't you color that in with a black marker? Color it in, and that way whenever you check swing, the umpire, when it's light like that, the umpire sees that. So he's gonna call a swing on that. If you put black in it, and you black in the end, he may not see it. How brilliant that was.
Brilliant.
I go, oh my gosh, I love you, Freddie. Thank you. Giving me little tips like that. And so now, since then, I was able to pass that on to guys. They don't think about that, but you're right. It could cost you an at-bat. But so much fun, fellas. I mean, totally blessed. Totally. That God blessed me to be a ball player, to give me the tools and give me the talent to do that. And I can't believe that I tricked him big time. 17 years old, I had a full ride scholarship to catch passes from a guy named Joe Montana in Notre Dame. And I was all set. I visited, and I had 25 Division I football offers, and I was a wide receiver. I had a great quarterback who made me look good. And so I traveled, and so as far as all the baseball teams knew, I'm going to college. I'm going to be a football player. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to play my senior year of baseball and see what happens. Well, God blessed me again with health, and I was a Triple Crown winner in Fresno, California at Ford High School. And, man, the calls kept coming off the wall. You know, in those days, we didn't have no cell phone. 1978, all of them were calling. I'd hear my mom say, "You'll waste your pick. Don't draft my son. He's going to Notre Dame." So I kept going, "Oh my gosh, Mom, what are you doing?" So she knew what she was doing. Draft day comes, you know, no big deal back then. I think that they sent you a Western telegram. That's how they let you know where you were drafted. I come home from school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Mom, anybody call today? She goes, "Yeah, the damn Yankees drafted you." And I said, "Mom, the New York Yankees drafted me?" She goes, "Yeah, son, they drafted you in the first round, 18th pick in the country you were." And I went, "What? Oh, man, what did you tell him?" She said, "I told him they wasted their pick. He's going to college." So I said, "You told him that?" So, yeah, here we go. So I don't hear from him for a week. And I said, "Mom, way to go. You scared him off." She goes, "No, they'll call. They'll be calling." Sure enough, Al Rosen, the vice president under George Steinbrenner, shows up at the front door with Jack Butterfield, George's right-hand man. And they come in, and my mom said, "Okay, son, go to Mamma Mia's and get you a pizza. You come back in 45 minutes. Come back in an hour." I went, "Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." I never talked back to my mother, never. She was raised in Texas and disciplined, and if I ever back talked her, watch out, man, because that right hand's coming. So I respected my mother big time. I come home, I knock on my door. My front door was locked after I ate my pizza. I came in, I said, my mom opens the door. She goes, "Congratulations, son, you're a Yankee." And I go, "Wow, Bob, what happened?" She goes, "I didn't want you there because I didn't want you jumping off the first offer or second offer. I wanted you out of the room completely." So my mom negotiated with the New York Yankees my first contract.
Unbelievable. This is off to a great start, Rex. Really, incredible story. You're an incredible storyteller. I think, you know, your persona really precedes you. You know, it's a treat to have you on. And for everybody, we're joined by a baseball legend. He's known for his infectious enthusiasm and love for the game. Former MLB player, renowned broadcaster, passionate advocate for community service. Rex, we are thrilled to have you. I like this story about the veteran passing down the information. That's probably why he was able to win an MVP and was it the Triple Crown in a single season, because little things like that, right? Over time, they just compound. But I want to ask you, you know, looking back on your life and your career, you know, your charisma and your enthusiasm, your joy for life, it just really stands out. Anytime someone meets you or listens to you on the broadcast, I think it's pretty evident. And Jason and I, like, we encourage that. Like, that's something that we talk about on this show a lot. But I want to ask you, you know, looking back, what are some key influences or experience that shaped your passion and for the game and also just your positive outlook on life?
Wow. Hey, Trevor, first of all, MVP, never. But I was a star in high school, but never in my 21-year pro baseball career was I ever a star player. I was a middle-of-the-road, blue-collar worker, baseball player. I brought my lunch pail to work. After that great start, number one pick, I didn't expect to play 6 years in A-ball and 10 years in the minors.
Hey, that's a testament of really how hard the game is, right?
That was some humble pie that I ingested early in my career. But I will tell you, and anybody else who's listening, that my upbringing was essential to how I was able to handle 21 years of playing professional baseball in 3 countries. I lived in every time zone. I played for 17 different teams, minor leagues, major leagues, was my upbringing. My mom was my biggest hero. I listened to my parents. I tried. I wasn't perfect. My 2 brothers and I, you know, we were given up for adoption at 8 years old. So I had to deal with rejection right away early in my life. And I was like, wow, it took me a long time to figure that out. So I went from Mobley to Hudler. Hudler was my adopted dad. He just passed a week ago, 92 years old. What a celebration of life. He was awesome. But, you know, they taught me manners. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know, things like nowadays, parents wouldn't even think of teaching their kids manners. Well, what manners do to young children and young kids when they grow, when they're going through school with teachers and coaches? That yes sir, no sir goes a long way. It favors the kid. A parent or a teacher will hear that kid say yes sir, and he'll go, wow, I like that. This kid's got some discipline. He's got some manners. That tells me a lot about the kid. Well, what was easy that my mom could teach me to help me in life later? I didn't know it. Eye contact and a firm handshake when you meet somebody for the first time. Really? That seems so insignificant. Son, my mom said, that sometimes will get you. There's a difference between landing the job and not. That first handshake. If you wet noodle him, if you dead fish the dude, and you don't shake his hand he's not going to think too much of you. I guarantee you. And you're looking somewhere else, and you're shaking his hand. Eyes contact, firm handshake, a smile. That'll get you in the door. Wow. Who's the most important first person I ever meet in my life? 17 years old, fly me across the country from Fresno, California to New York and get in a taxi cab and take me to Yankee Stadium and get ripped off by the taxi driver because he charged me double the fare because I didn't know no better. It was my first taxi ride, and I'm busy telling him all that. So I give the receipt to the lady, Mr. Steinberg's assistant, and she goes, "Oh, $50. Whoa, it's not that far from the airport, sir. You just got ripped off. Welcome to New York." So here it is. I wish I would have paid attention to that because the world can be dangerous. But my youth, my mom prepared me the best she could. I remember coming home after the first Little League day. I'm probably 8 years old, maybe 7. I can't remember. I was a catcher that day, and I loved it. I was in on every pitch. It was so exciting. I came home and shared that with my mother. Mom, catching was a blast. I loved it. Mom, I can't wait to go back again. She goes, son, there's 8 other positions out there. Pick one of them. You'll never catch again. What? What do you mean? She said, you're an athlete. You're going to be an athlete. You already are. I watch you play soccer. I watch you on the field. You're going to run. In catching, you'll get hurt. You'll have foul tips. You'll lose your speed. Find somewhere else. Wow. Okay, Mom. Yes, ma'am. And wasn't she brilliant? I'm so thankful she took me away from catching. Because now it enabled me to play 7 different positions. I could play any of them except for pitcher and catcher in my career because my mom was thinking about me. She's thoughtful. She was giving me guidance right away that just put me into it, man. But I'll tell you what, and I love God, and I love him big time now, but back then I loved him even more, and he blessed that. He honored that. He allowed me to have the desires of my heart. And I'm so grateful. And so then once I signed the Yankees, I told God, you're the greatest. You gave me a scholarship to Notre Dame, a New York Yankee. Both of them won a national title last year. Are you kidding? I'm not going that good. But I'll see you in the big leagues. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. And I put him up. I shelved him. I shelved my mentor, my spiritual leader. I put him on the shelf. Well, when God, he blesses your life when you're tuned into him and you're kind of tuned in. He blesses it. He pours a cup of blessings on your head in life. But when you choose to go on your own, chase, run, dabble here or there, drugs, a little bit of alcohol. When you start living your life for you, well, he has no choice but to pull the blessing cup up. He pulls it up. He can't lay the blessings on you when you're living wild and like that. So that's what happened. 10 years go by. Injuries, 6 years in A-ball. Nobody does that kind of time. And so, wow, after 10 years, well, probably 7 or 8, 9 years, I was like, God, I need to settle down. Could you help me find a wife, please? And he goes, Hud, great to hear from you again, first of all. Absolutely. I've been here the whole time. You're the one who left. I never did. I kept waiting for you. Yes, I made the mountains. I could find you a wife. So he lifted up Jennifer, and I'd been dating her and, 4 or 5 other girls across the country. I didn't know because I was given up for adoption. I was afraid of my choice. So I could rely on him. He's got to find her for me. So he lifted up Jennifer, and I went, Whoa, her? God, you got great taste. She's hot. She's good looking. She got a great heart. She's the one. You're picking for me? Yeah, Hud. You got to catch her. I'm out now. I lifted her. It's up to you to catch her. Oh, man. So I was excited. She said she would marry me. We married on the altar. I told her, I know I'm a 10-year minor leaguer was really, that's most guys' career. But with your help and God's, I can get 10 years in the majors. So she goes, okay, hon, I'm with you. Bam. Married, never spent a day in the minors after that. 10 straight years in the show. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And attack, show up ready to play baseball, walk into that clubhouse, not with, after you're getting your tail kicked, like everyone does. Everyone eats humble pie in baseball. When you're getting kicked around up there and the people are telling you how bad you are, sometimes you have a tendency to walk like this. You're like, your body language is bad. Your head's down. Your shoulders are shrunk. You're getting beat by a guy who gets paid $1 million. He's a pro. You get your head up. You put your shoulders back. You walk into that clubhouse and don't let nobody spoil a day of being a big league ball player. You go in there. I don't care. The past is over. Yesterday's gone. That 0 for 20, gone. I'm looking at me. Hey, fellas, who's going to drive the bus today? Who's driving? What's up? Man, why are you so down? Is something wrong with your family? No, I've been getting beat. Oh, look, get your head up or you're going to get beat again. Let's go. Come on. You can't afford to have your head down like that. So in baseball, and I'm sure in other areas of life, baseball especially, and played every single day, it's the toughest sport in the world. You must have the ability to let the past go and come forward and strong and show positive body language, or you will not succeed, especially for any length of time.
Well, Rex, too, it's kind of like a microcosm of life. I always say that baseball is one of the best sports to give you a little bit of a taste in life, because most of the time in life, you're going to just keep failing forward. But the key is a positive attitude, right? And what you can learn from that failure, because fail stands for first attempt in learning, right? So you're just learning, getting better. And your energy, your enthusiasm, it's contagious, right? And it can help lift other people up. And we live in such youth sports can be so high pressure, it can be so intense, if you will. How can parents and coaches bring more energy and excitement, celebrate successes, create a better team culture where, if a kid does mess up, they know they have that support, that safe environment to even be feel that they can mess up and try their best? What do you think? What's some key components for that?
Oh man, I'm so thankful that my wife of 36 years gave me 4 children, my daughter and 3 boys, and they're all young adults now. So we went through that, and I was really appalled by some of the things that I witnessed in the stands by the parents, coaches. I was like, ooh, I would just cringe sometimes, going, why are you yelling? There should be no yelling from the coaches at all. Talk. You certainly you want to raise your voice to reach him. Hey, Johnny, move over a little bit to left field. But not any yelling towards people, towards kids. At that age, you're going to ruin them. You're going to hurt their feelings. Their feelings are sensitive at that age, man. And parents, keep your mouth shut in the stands. Just only positive things. Cheering. Anything bad happens, just close your eyes and keep your mouth shut. And when you get in the car with your young kids, depends on how young they are. I remember being the 3rd coach. I was out of baseball for two years in between my broadcasting job with the Angels and the Royals. God gave me 2 years off, and he told me, you've been making baseball a little bit too much of a priority, Hud. I'm going to take it from you now. I want you to concentrate on what I gave you. Your wife and 4 kids. I'll let you know when you can have baseball back. I went, really? Oh man, that sounds like fun. So I loved being the 3rd coach on my 2 boys' team. I wasn't the 1 or 2 coach. I was number 3. And so when the game was over, they would go around and they would say, Hud, what did you think? And I go, raise your hand if you want a Slurpee. Good job, everybody. Did you have fun? That's all that matters. At that particular age, parents and coaches need to take a chill pill. They are not going to be big leaguers. You tell yourself, parents, that you are not going to drill that into your kids. Don't you ever bring up you're going to be a major league player or a professional football player. Let the kid, let his heart tell him what he's going to do. All you do is ask him if he had fun. Ask her if she enjoyed competing. And if she did, great. Hey, you were good at this and good at that. Dwell on the positive things. Leave the negatives alone. You'll ruin your kid. I'm telling you. And coaches especially, put your ego aside. Put your egos away. You don't have to act like you're some big tough guy over some little kid. Leave that alone. Be humble and know what you're dealing with. A very fragile young child. His mind is really just a development. He's developing. You want to fill that full of good stuff, positive stuff. Hey, nice play, good job. Hey, good try. Those type of things is what these guys do. And there's some parents, and there was a couple of times. I'm an alpha male. Okay, I'm an alpha, and I would be sitting in that stand, and some other dad, I don't know if he'd been drinking or whatever, but I could hear him saying some things that weren't appropriate. So instead of going over to him in front of everybody, I would wait till the game was over, and I would tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And not in front of people, because you don't want to show him up or embarrass him. I just say, hey, look, sir, you were out of bounds today. I just want you to know that coming from another dad. Okay, this is not coming from Rex Hudler, the 10-year big leaguer. This is coming from another dad. Just be a little bit more careful. You were not it was not appropriate right there. I'm just telling you. And that guy looked at me because I did it in a humble way. He looked at me and went, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry." That's how you handle stuff. Instead of being a big, yelling across the, I'll meet you after the game. None of that adult, big, tough guy stuff works when you're in youth sports. Be under control, parents, and know that the way you treat your kid and the way your coaches treat your kid could depend on whether he plays ball on in the future or not. You could sour him or her so easily. So be careful what you're dealing with. You're dealing with beautiful, beautiful piece of clay, these young people that you hope would play sports, but you got to do it. You got to be fragile about that, and it has to be a conscious effort when you head to the ballpark that day, saying, "I'm going to be positive to my kids, my coaches, and I'm going to teach them right and wrong a little bit, maybe some manners, because you coaches can teach kids what some parents try to teach, but the kids won't listen." I love my coaches. My coaches were great for me, especially as I moved on up. They loved me. They saw the intensity. They saw the talent, the speed. I could do it all at that age. And so, wow, what did they do? They just let it happen. Nobody stood in the way. They said, hey, look, next time when you catch that football and that guy's coming to hit you, you can put your head down and kind of protect yourself, but don't just take the blow. Go through the guy. Go through him. So I learned how to play hard, how to be intense, how to play hard and physical. The thing that's missing today in the modern young game is mental toughness and physical toughness. Okay, that's missing for whatever reason. And that can come from coaches, young coaches at a young age. Mental toughness. Gosh, you scraped your elbow. I know it hurts. It's okay. I know, but it'll be all right. Go to tape and aspirin on it. It'll be better. We'll move forward. You'll love it. We'll come back tomorrow. It'll be okay. Okay, that's how you help them through physical toughness, mental toughness too. Okay. What other things can I share that you guys want to hear about?
Well, I really like what you said there. When specifically everything you said was just absolutely phenomenal and a great reminder, to our audience. We're talking to parents and coaches and helping them, really get a solid perspective on what youth sports is all about. And so everything that you're saying is so on point. And especially, this is why we enjoy having these conversations with guys like you, Rex. Like, you've been at the highest level. You've been at the highest level for a long time in the sport, but you're also a dad. You've also had the challenge and the experience of raising kids and seeing a lot of these things. And I specifically like what you talked about with being an alpha male. It was a lot of times we put the alpha male in the context of I'm the guy that's like pumping iron in the gym, and I'm going to start a fight every time I don't agree with something or every time I don't get my way. But to your point, you're just standing up for what is right. You're standing up for the truth, and you're sharing that with other people. You're not withholding it and keeping it for yourself. You're just trying to have a positive impact on the people around you. And to that point, you're also known as a motivational speaker, and you've been recognized for your community service, and including founding the Team Up for Down Syndrome. And so, to that point, how can we encourage athletes to use their platform, no matter how big or small, to give back to their communities and make a positive impact on the world around them, like what you're doing? Are you too young? Are you too old to have that impact? Maybe you can talk about, just the encouragement that or the responsibility that athletes have with the platform that they're given.
Trevor, way to go, man. Fantastic. Also, one of my 4 children, he's 28 years old, and the world says that he has Down syndrome. Okay? When he was born 28 years ago, and we took Cade home, the doctor called us at home after we'd been home a day or so and said, "Hey, your son Cade is tested positive for Down syndrome." And I went, okay. Do you have an owner's manual? What am I supposed to do now? And he kind of said, "Well, we'll do this and we'll do that." So hung up the phone, and I told my family, "Hey guys, we have a little boy with Down syndrome." And so they were all upset. I'm thinking, what's wrong? He's healthy. All we prayed for was a healthy child. So we got Cade. I had just come off my best season as a big leaguer. Hit over 300. I hit a few homers, and had a really good season with the Angels. And Jennifer was carrying my first son. We knew he was going to be a boy. She was carrying him. God blessed that summer for me. I can't believe every hit fell. Everything that went on that hit my bat fell in for a hit. So he blessed that. He knew it was coming. Now I was a free agent. Now where do I go? Where am I going to pick? Where's my future, hon? What do you want to do? Phillies and the Cardinals and the Angels. Couple of teams wanted me, and we just, like we did every stop. Whenever there was a where are we going next, and when you have no control as a player, what will we do? We got on our hands and knees and asked God, "Hey, will you open a door wherever you want us to go, God? That way we know it's the right place." "Hud, you're right on. I got a place for you. The Fighting Phils. We're going to send you to Philadelphia." "Philly? Wow, okay. The Dodgers want us. It's just right up the road from Angel Stadium. It would be an easier stop." You asked me. I told you where I want you to go. Philly. Okay, let's go to Philly then. So we took our brand new baby boy. I already had a daughter. She was young. And Jennifer and I went off to Philly. Big, rough, tough city, angry people. Nah. Those people have the most tender hearts of any city in the country, maybe in the world. They're hardworking people. They're blue collar people. And when they get behind you, oh man, you're in the best place in the world. Now you don't want to get on their bad side, that's for sure, because they're not afraid to let you know. But when I shared with those people, and I'm a brand new Philadelphia Phillies player, Terry Francona was in his first year managing there, and they found out that we had a little boy with what now we called right away, up syndrome. He doesn't have Down syndrome. He has nothing but life and love and unconditional love for others. So the Phillies fans, I got Ozzie Smith type fan mail. Remember, Trevor, in the clubhouse, you see some guys' little cubicle. They have some mail in it. Other guys have buckets of fan mail. I was getting mail like that, and I'd never gotten mail like that. And I'm in the middle of the clubhouse in a picnic table, opening up these cards, and these people in Philly are sending me a picture of their kids, and they're saying, "Congratulations. Congratulations." And a lot of people didn't know what to say at the time. You have a kid with a disability, people go, "I'm sorry." And they didn't know what to say. And that hurt. What do you mean, I'm sorry? I just had a kid. Tell me congratulations. So now these Philly fans, these Phillies they're telling me congratulations. And I'm only human, and I'm an emotional guy. And so I'm weeping at reading some of these letters. So we didn't have cell phones back then. This is the late 90s. And all they had was sporting news and reading newspapers. So I'm in the middle of the clubhouse, and I'm looking around. I'm new to this team. I'm new to the team. I'm looking around, and I see Darren Dalton. I see Schilling. I see Mickey Morandini, Greg Jeffries. I see Lenny Dykstra. I see all these characters around, and they're watching me weep, and they're looking over their newspapers at me. And then when I lifted my head up and looked around, they went like that, like they weren't looking. But they were checking me out, and they were seeing how emotional I was. And so I go, fellas, look, I'm brand new to the team. I don't want to bring the team down at all. I'm just trying to get used to my son. Dutch Dalton, Darren Dalton, the alpha male stands up in the locker room and says, Hud, we love you. You're our teammate. We'll do anything for you. Don't you dare ever feel like you can't be yourself in here. This is your house just like it is everybody else's. We went to Philly to get loved on. They paid me good money to go there and produce, and I did nothing. I got injured, and absolutely. The fans let me know, but they also knew that we had big hearts, and their hearts were bigger, and they were tender, and we had fundraisers, and that's what started us with fundraisers, thinking, man, we can use our platform and do something for other people. Let's raise awareness. Let's do stuff. Now, we did that way before we had Cade. I was always wanting to give, because when you have a Christ-filled heart, you want to do others. You want to share with others. You want to do whatever you can do to help. And that's what we've done, and it's become a pattern, fortunately, over 40 years we've been in the game. But to share it with the young players that come in, how important it is to get involved in the community, that's big. And it's fun being a broadcaster. I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm over here, but I do get some time every once in a while to say, hey, look, guys, think about something. Look for something you're interested in and get involved. Because you know how long your career is, Trevor? You got a long career, and I was blessed with a long career. That's how long most guys' careers are, right there. There it is. Here's your life, you hope. You hope your life is here. That's your career. Man, oh, man. Don't you want to do something during that time? Because when you're done, you'll have all this time when you're done, when you're finished, but you won't have the platform like you have now. Use it. And so when we were done playing ball, and I was 36 years old, and the Philadelphia Phillies said, Hud, you got to go. I said, I love you. Thank you guys for having me. So sorry I wasn't the player I expected to be, or you did. But, okay, I went home. What do? I fast for the first time in my life. Fasting? What's that? I forgot. No food, and just because I want to hear what's next. I couldn't wait to hear what God's got next for me. He goes, Hud, when I gave you that child a year or so ago, I didn't give you that child to bring your life down. I gave you that child to enhance your life so that you don't have any idea what's ahead for you, but I do. I'm going to use you to encourage other parents that have kids with disabilities. I'm going to put you in a spot where it's going to work. For you, you're going to like it. You're going to love it. And I'm going to like it too, Hud, because you have a servant's heart and you're going to serve me. So what happens? I retire. I'm in the minor leagues because they let me go. And Jeff Datz, I'm with the Cleveland Indians. Jeff Datz was my manager. And I went down there to see if I had anything left because my wife goes, when the Phillies released me, she goes, do you have baseball out of your system? And I said, I'm not sure. She goes, I got to live with you the rest of your life. Go get it out. You play. Play until you're done. So I went with the Indians. And so 15 games, and I couldn't hit no more. Fans yelling at me in the stands, Hudler, your hustle's great, but your numbers suck. You're terrible. And all I did was I agreed with him. I shook my head. I could hear the guy. I never looked at the fan, but I would always agree with him. I love the paying customer. Always love the paying customer. So I go after the game. I said, hey, Datsy, time for me to go home. Sorry, I took up a roster spot for you for the last month, but I got to go home, man. But can I play one more game? So the tug on my heart from that fan was how God talks to believers. And so I go, okay, but hey, can I play one more game? Can I lead off and play second base tomorrow? Sure. Yeah, Hud, no problem. So I pack up my bags. I call my wife, honey, I'm coming home tomorrow night after the game. I'm coming home. So I'm all packed up, And I'm thinking, God's really going to bless me. I'm going to go 4 for 4. I might hit a grand slam. I mean, this is going to be unbelievable. Well, I go out to play. First, I cried like a baby for the anthem. Saying goodbye to playing professional baseball my whole life was not easy. And it all came out in the anthem. Young Latin shortstop was playing. Enrique Wilson was standing next to me on the field. And he was petrified. He didn't know what to do. Because I'm going, I mean, I'm woofing. Struck out my first at-bat. I'm walking up going, you made the right decision, Hud. You're terrible. Next time up, I got a base hit. I'm not going to stop at first. My last game. I'm ever playing. But I talked to the team before. I asked Datsy if I could address the team. So I addressed the Richie Sextons, the Giles. Some of these young guys were big leaguers. Buddy Black was a pitching coach. And anyway, I gave the Newt Rockney, whatever. So my third time up, I go up, and I never got hit in the head in 21 years as a player. Never. This is my last game ever I'm going to play. And Scott Ruffcorn was pitching. A guy I knew. We were teammates in Philly, and he threw a ball, and it's coming right at me, and I couldn't get out of the way. And I just turned my head, and the baseball hit me right here. Trevor, did you ever hear any of your pitching buddies ever come in to the dugout after a performance and say, I'm going to hit that guy in the neck next time I see him?
Not too often.
There were some guys that did that. So I found out what that felt like, okay? I just put my hands on my knees. I looked at home plate. And when I looked at home plate, I heard God say, I told you to leave last night. You took it upon yourself to play one more game. Get out. I got something planned for you. And I lifted my head up and I went, man, oh man. Whoa, okay, all right. I'll see. I see. I stayed in the game. My next time up, Datsy goes, Hud, you're up. I go, I'm done. I get home. 2 or 3 more days. It's in May. Phone rings. It's Tim Mead with the Anaheim Angels. We want you to be our broadcaster next year. Wow, it's May. What's up with that? He goes, well, Sparky Anderson is doing our broadcasting on our games, and he's getting tired. He don't want to do them no more. We want you to come and do it. Bam. Opened the door, but I had to listen, and I was a little hard-headed. God made sure, hey, look, okay, he found out how he could get my attention. He gave me a net ball. So we sometimes have to listen more, but it went on. 11 years there, a world championship fun. We shared Cade, team up for Down Syndrome. We had all-star parties. We had, during the all-star games, we sold auction items. I could go in every locker room, and I had a piece of paper, and I'd give to the clubhouse guys and say, hey, I'm just looking for some donations for our auction. Man, Ken Griffey Jr. shoes. We got, the greatest in the game would give me bats. So we had party after party after party. And then when the Angels fired me, like the Royals will someday, I said, hey, okay, what's next? And so we went on. He moved me to another market that I never played in, which is a miracle. So fun here in Kansas City, very philanthropic city, a lot of good places, a lot of places you can plug in by just saying, yes, I will. I'll be your MC. I'll be happy to. Let's do this or let's do that. What can I do here? I mean, even going the extra mile. When you give, you get back. Now, I don't necessarily give so I can get back. But you give, you love, it comes back to you. And then it makes a difference because people are way more important than me, but they don't have a position. Trevor, you had a position. Jason has got a position. We all have something that we can give. You have to have the heart, and you have to get your eyes off yourself and look for others. I have a thing that I shared. I got one more thing. I got a thing. When I taught Sunday school those years that I was out, and my boys were in the room, and I would share this with the young people. Their joy, Jesus, others, and you. Okay? In order to have joy in your life, that's kind of the order that you want to have. And that means it doesn't have to be Jesus if you don't believe that way, but higher power, others, and you. That's what will bring you joy. Jesus is J, so we bring joy, and I share that with people, and it's the truth.
That's like the Spanish version of joy. Hoy, higher intelligence, others you, right? If you your belief system, right? So
believe it.
Believe it. Last question for you. Super simple. If you are a parent or coach guiding your young athlete on their journey in sports, what is the one piece of advice that you would give them in the simplest way possible?
Give 100% of your effort when you go out to practice and play. That way you won't have to look back and say, I wish I would have, or I could have. Give your coaches respect by playing hard and 100%. Give them all you got.
There you go. That's like icing on the cake right there.
That is. Well, Rex, been an incredible conversation, a complete joy. Thank you for taking time with us. Love your energy and enthusiasm. I'm like, I know I'm going to have a great day now after talking to you and hearing all of these incredible stories, hearing about your experience. A couple notes just to kind of recap. We covered so much, right? I don't know if I can do this justice, but we talked about your upbringing, Rex, which I thought was really cool that you shared that. Thanks for doing that. But, you know, you mentioned the mental toughness side of the game, and for a guy like you could have been easily beat before you even got started. And it's such a great testament that no matter your situation, you have control and you can overcome any obstacle. And fortunately, your message was very clear. Your mother and your adopted family was very important to your upbringing. So that's a reminder for us as parents, as coaches, instill those quality life lessons, those quality life skills, basic manners, right? Basic manners will take you a long way.
Yes.
And you talked about, why are manners important? For one, they're important because they make you stand out to your peers, because not everybody's going to have those same manners. But then also what I think is even more important is it is a dangerous world out there. You got taken advantage on that car, on that taxi, your first taxi ride. We're all going to be susceptible to the dangers that this world has. And so having some of these key life skills in place before we even get out on our own or send our kids out on their own, you want them to have some of these things to fall back on, because it's going to be tough. They're going to get exposed. And then secondly, we talked about being a coach and being a parent. What advice do we have for sitting in the stands? Keep it simple, right? No yelling. Be positive. If you can't be positive, just don't say anything at all. Just keep your mouth shut. Yes. And then we kind of got in, and this really hit home to me in my faith journey. I'm right there with you. With having a giving spirit, and how do we have a giving spirit? How do we continue to give? We have to first have that recognition that our cup is overflowing, right? When we're getting filled, when you mentioned fasting, when we're listening, when we have a presence to listen to what God and listen to the blessings that He's pouring into our lives, we realize there's abundance, and so we can spill that over and give that to people around us. And then the kind of like the icing on the cake, the bow to wrap this all up, or the most simplest thing that we can do, whether we're Rex Hudler, Jason Holzer, or Trevor Rosenthal, or a kid that's upcoming, what can we do? We can just give 100%, right? Give 100%, and that's all we can control at the end of the day. So a lot of really good lessons, even better stories to have a memorable conversation. So thank you, Rex. Maybe tell us, where can people find you this year? Where can we keep along with what you have going on this upcoming season?
Hey, last few years we were on Bally Sports. This year we're on FanDuel. So you can get us the Royals, Kansas City Royals. I'm very blessed that they allowed me to broadcast for their organization, the Royals. Looking forward to another championship season. Last year they went from worst to second, but they almost, they won. They beat the Orioles in the first round. They got beat by the Yankees, and they almost went all the way. And they're very talented. It's a lot of fun. So tune into the Royals broadcast. I'm going to do 130, maybe 140 games. Me, Jeremy Guthrie. Guthrie will help me out, Jay Guts. And then Ryan Lefevre and Jake Eisenberg are the two play-by-play guys. And it's so fun. Oh, man, every day's a blast. It's a baseball game. You get to teach the kids. It's the moms and the kids that watch the games the most here in Kansas City. And then the experts, of course, they're way up here. But you can't stay up here and talk to the experts all the time. I like to talk about the on-deck circle. What's in that on-deck circle, guys? And they'll show me with the camera. And you got the motor stick, a pine tar rag, you've got the weighted bats, and there's a donut right there. No, kids, it's not the donut you can eat. It's called a donut, and it fits around the barrel of the bat. How simple is that? There's times my broadcast partner looks at me like, duh. And I'm going, hey, partner, I'm talking to the kids, man. Let it happen. Dude, we got to teach them. Because can you imagine a kid nowadays with the pitch clock watching a 2-hour and 30-minute game? They do. I can't imagine that, but they do. So why not take that opportunity as a broadcaster and love them and teach them baseball? It's so fun. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love Bob Uecker. 90 years old, Ueck lasted. Yeah. I mean, he got to do that all the time. Think about the impact he had. I don't have to be a preacher. I don't have to be a great name broadcaster, but just the chance to be able to share with the people some of the experiences is such a beautiful thing. I love meeting the new players always, and it's everything about the players, the young player, the modern day player, I call them all the time. They keep me young. They keep it exciting, and praise God from whom all blessings flow that we got jobs we love and we can share it with others.
Well, Trev, on that note, man, it's been another great episode of the Game Plan Show. Make sure you hit up Rex on the Sports FanDuel Royals broadcast, and follow Trevor on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Yeah,
and especially if you're a parent or a coach, it's a great follow.
Yeah, come to the K. Come out and see me. Yell at me. I'll yell back at you. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Trevor, thanks, man. Trevor, you and Jason, appreciate the opportunity to share, man. I love it. Man, I'm going to have to do a few laps around the house. It's too cold outside. I think I'll go shovel a little bit right now, but I'm all worked up, man. I want to go play.
There we go. Hey, Rex, we will see you at the K this year.
Yeah.
Hey, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Like I seriously and sincerely mean, I got energy. I'm ready to go now, Rex. That's what it's all about. Thank you for bringing the energy and even more so bringing the wisdom today. It was another great show. Be sure to check out 4D Leaders newsletter. Check out the resources for parents, coaches, and athletes. Follow 4D Leaders and Jason on social media as well. We have a lot of dynamic content coming your way. If you can't tell, 2025 is off to a great start. Rex Hudler is a testament to that. So that's a wrap for this show. If you liked the episode, give us 5 stars, leave a review. Thanks for tuning into the Game Plan, and we will see you next time.